Hang with me, everybody, while I get everything ready. All right. All right. Well, it is a little bit past 6:30 on Tuesday, which means it's time for another episode of Tiger Stamp Club Live, where we make great cards. And it's been a couple of weeks since I've been on, and thanks for all the well wishes. I am feeling much better after having the flu. And anyway, yeah, so hi Barbara, hi Carol, hi Liz, hi Gloria, Nancy, Jill. Since it's been so long, and I had unplugged everything, so I forgot I had to plug everything back in. So that's why I'm starting a little bit late. As you guys know, I was planning on going to on stage, and then getting the flu interrupted those plans. But I had a really good friend who lives in Bixby that went, and she picked up my little bag full of goodies. And oh, I should show you. In that bag, let me move my card, were two stamp sets that are going to be in the new catalog. So I'm very excited about that, and it looks like hopefully there we go. It's just taking a little while for everything to catch up, I guess. So here is a family celebration. I just love this stamp set. It's got a mixture of straight fonts with script, and I think this is going to be a very useful stamp set. I love this script font. Very nice and clean. And then here's another one that was in the bag called Sending Salutations. So an all occasion sentiment set, both sentiment sets. So very happy about that. And on top of that, here is the brand new catalog. That I can only show you the cover to, but it looks like it's full. I haven't really got a chance to sit down and flip through it yet. I'm excited to do that. Pre-ordering for demonstrators is coming up in a few days, so I'm getting my list together, or I'll be getting my list together. So exciting things are on the way. I have heard tell of a hybrid black ink pad that I believe is going to take the place of Memento and Stays On. It's going to work with both kinds of situations, the water and the whatever the whatever the other one is. And we're getting colored glitter pens. That sounds exciting. Of course, I've already told you that we're getting a new style ink pad that's going to be fun. And so lots of cool things on the horizon. I wish I was able to tell you everything, but since I didn't go, I don't know anything. But anyway, hi, Susan. Glad you're here. So let's get started with this card. This is a card made by one of the artisan designers. I think it's Jacqueline Tobacek. She does the Touch of Joy Instagram, and I thought this was just a lot of fun, and it's got a lot of techniques in it. First of all, we're going to use die cuts to create this quilted background. I forgot to look at the name of the paper, so we'll have to find out the name of this DSP. And then very subtly, one of the vellum die cuts, she wove linen thread through it, around it, just to add the coolest little detail. And then I'm gonna show you how to fancy up the handle of this shovel. And the dies, so you can see that we're using mostly dies, and the dies are coming from the Help Me Grow bundle. And this is just a really, really fun set. And I've got another great card that we're going to do in class this month, which, by the way, thank you guys very much. My class is full, totally full, for March. And we're going to have a lot of fun. And we're going to be using this set as well for one of the cards. And it's an amazing card. And so, yeah, let's just go ahead and get started making this. It's not going to be a surprise to anybody that I am just not totally together yet. But anyway, we're going to start out with a card base that is your standard card base, but it's going to get cut down. It's going to get cut down a little bit in the height or the length of it. And so I did want to show you that we are going to use this smallest stitched square from the Stylish Shapes set. This smallest stitched square to die cut from our DSP. And I have cut out several different patterns. Let me bring those over. Several different patterns from the DSP. And let me see if I can give you the name of that. That would be a good thing to do, Manny. The problem is, oh, here it is. So the DSP is called Lovely and Beautiful. And so I have cut out 4 different patterns from sheets of those. And this is what we're going to do to build our quilted background. And so I am just going to kind of follow the same pattern on the card that I did in my example. And what I did was start up here in the corner and then just make sure that my square is flush on the top and the side here. So I just kind of press that down so that it's flush. And then everything else should line up very, very well. At least it did when I put together the example. And I really thought it was going to be shorter and thinner, but it turns out to be 4¼ across, which is our normal size, and then just a little bit under 5½. So you can see that some of these DSP pieces have the gold highlighting in it, which just makes it super shiny when it's all together. And I decided to start out with a normal size card, and then we'll trim off whatever we need to trim off. And it looks like this time we're going to trim off just the tiniest bit that you can see there off the edge. And then I know we'll have to trim off some of across the bottom too. All right, so we've got our first row there. And I like the effect of building this background. It kind of gives it a really homemade style to it, feel to it. And I'm just making sure that I'm pushing it all the way up so that there's no spaces in between. I think I'm going to use my Tombow glue. So have any of you had experience with the flu yet this season? Someone asked me if I got my flu shot, and I can't remember if I did or not. I usually do. When the doctor asks, I usually say yes to that. Hey, Betty. Hi, Diana. So what I'm doing is I've cut out several squares from the DSP, different patterns, and we're just putting it together in a quilt kind of fashion. And some of this gets covered up. And on this green pattern, there's kind of a direction here, so I'm trying to be careful with that. And then I'm looking to see the pattern here. I guess it wouldn't matter. I could just mix and match, but I try and follow when I'm casing someone's design. I try and follow it pretty closely so you get the full effect of it. I figured they're artisans, designers for a reason, so might as well take advantage of their design sense since I have very little. Hey, Janice. Just trying to make sure this fits right up in there. There we go. Like I said, I had a friend that picked up the stuff for me. Isn't that nice? Because I was convinced I was still going, until I was supposed to leave Thursday. And even Wednesday evening, my wife goes, "Are you still going?" And I'm like, yeah. And then, I don't know, it just became painfully obvious that that was not a good idea. And so I finally gave up the idea of going. And I figure, things happen for a reason, the way they should. So if you decide to do a card like this, it does help to go ahead and just cut the squares, and then you can have fun creating the pattern, and then you don't have to concentrate so hard. All right, I'm getting a little crooked in my line. It would be bad sewing, I guess, but we will make it look just fine. So you can now see, well, let me get this on here straight. You can now see how much I'm going to trim off here at the bottom. So that's how much shorter it is this way. That's about 1/4 of an inch. Nothing that will greatly affect how it fits in the envelope. No one would notice but us, the difference in size. I'm going to have a few pieces left over, which is great. One more piece, this one, I think. Are there 2 pieces there? There are. I was like, something's amiss. All right. That's a pretty little background. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to very quickly trim. Let's see, where's... Of course, I don't have that one. I have this big guillotine trimmer. If I can get it out. I have a small one. That's the one I was planning on using, but where is it? So, I am just going to trim the very slightest edge off the edge there. Let me try again. There we go. There, I got it. And then I'm going to trim off the bottom just a little bit, that 1/4 inch there. Put this back away. All right. Now we've got our quilted background and we can start adding in our other elements. So the major element that's going to provide the foundation for our design here is this vellum circle that I've die cut here with the Spotlight on Nature dies. And they've been around for a good while, so you probably have this in your stash. And I'm using this little threader here. I've got a double strand of linen thread, and I am just going to poke my threader through that hole. I mean, if you had a needle, it probably would be easy to use a needle as well. I just don't happen to have a needle handy, but I had these threaders from another time that I tried to do something fancy. And so, hey, it comes in handy. And I, of course, did a lot of this, but I did kind of want to show you how I got the threaded around. And, oh yeah, I need to go back in this way. So this is not my forte, this sewing kind of stuff, but I know some of you out there are very well versed in it. Okay. So, all the way around, we've threaded this design, and then I'm just going to fasten it on the back. I did a double strand, and I put the ends, when I started, on the back and taped those, and I'm going to tape these, and then this spot right here gets covered up. Let me find oh, here it is. So I'm just going to tack this down with some tear and tape. And then this is going to adhere here. And then this area right here is going to get covered up with the other pieces that we've die cut. All right. But that adds a really cool detail there all the way around. So let me think about the best way to put those on. I think I'm just going to add some if I can get it to go. There we go. Add some right there down the middle because I know, like I said, I know it gets covered up. I'm just trying to make sure it is nice and even. There we go. All right, let's bring over our other pieces. I've die cut a lot of this for us. My man fingers aren't working today. Here we go. Got that. Goodness, I need my take your pick tool. All right, so what I've die cut is, so you'll know, Old Olive. I've used the large leaf die and cut out 2 old olives. This is for the detail in the shovel handle. So I'm going to set these little small flowers aside. I've stamped hello onto crumb cake and heat embossed it and then die cut this sign. I got a white little handle, loopy for my handle, and some 5 of these flowers. And then the pot is in basic beige. The trowel part of the shovel is crumb cake. And then this is for the crumb cake handle. All right. 2, 1, 5, 1, 1, 1. All right. Let's go ahead and do the handle. So to make that fancy handle, what I'm going to do is going to glue some white flowers onto my crumb cake, a piece of scrap of crumb cake. And this is probably more than we need, but there were 2 dies, so I used them, and one of the dies cuts out 2 pieces, so I really have 3 pieces of this. And let me grab my So here is the shovel handle, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to die cut this now, die cut this out, and that gives us a really decorative border. I mean, not border, but handle. Okay, so I die cut these white flowers, I glued them to the crumb cake, and now I'm going to die cut them with the handle die. And through the magic of television, when I do that, I get this very pretty handle. Okay, you see that? So it's just a little extra thing to dress up your die cuts. Hey, Megan. All right, before we start assembling, there's a couple of other things that I need to do. I've got 5 of these flowers, and I'm not exactly sure what kind of flowers these are, but I've got 5 of them. And I'm going to use my my blends marker. This is Daffodil Delight. And I'm just going to color the centers of these just to give us some color. All right, and I am going to bring over my early espresso ink pad. And I'm going to lightly add some to my blending brush. And I'm just going to add some shading to my pot here. Lightly, less is more. And then I'm going to do that for my shovel too. Very lightly. Okay, just to give it a little bit of depth. All right, now let me clean that up. All right, now I think we're ready to, one more thing before we go crazy here is I want to adhere these two pieces together something like that, because I'm going to be tying some linen thread around it. And I tried to do it after the fact, after putting it on the card, and that wasn't the easiest thing to do. So I'm gonna do it now. And again, I think the easiest thing for me to do is to put some adhesive on the back. And wrap it around that way. I couldn't get it very tight, because I tried to tie it on. And so I figured on my second attempt here, I'm just going to wrap it around like that. And then I'm going to take a piece like this. I'm going to give me plenty because, again, I have man fingers. See if I can slide that under. Did I give myself plenty? Because all I really need to do is tie a knot. If Carol Jones was here, I'd be going, Carol, can you tie my knot? All right, I'm gonna it's a double string on my example card, but it's gonna be a single string on this one because I need more length. I can't get my fingers to cooperate. And they came loose. So let me see if I can tighten them up here. Oh, I just needed to slide it up a little bit. There we go. And I'll trim that off here in a minute. Because I'm going to add some dimensionals to this. Trap those strands there. Okay, I am going to trim them now here. Oops, I better be careful because I got some stuff that needs to be inserted. You can see the die cut has a slit there. Put one there and one there. All right. All right. Here we go. Here we go. This is going to come off down here. It's going to hide all the messiness behind there. Yeah, I think that's going to work. And then we're going to add our leaves. Whoops, I dropped it. Okay. There's also a little slit in the bottom of this handle piece that we're going to slide onto the bottom of this shovel. If I can make that happen. There we go. And I'm going to add a little mini dimensional behind it. And then for this little string thing that goes onto our handle like a little hanging loop, I am going to just snip it on one side like that. And it's going to hang on like that. So you can't even tell that it's been snipped. All right, let's add in our flowers. Actually, let's try and do our sign first, see if I can get that in there. This is a very flimsy, there we go, very flimsy handle to this. Gonna put a flower there. And I am popping these up with a little mini dimensional. Gonna put a flower there. Anybody know what kind of flowers these are? This says Lori Rios is watching. She never watches. Sneak that in there. It's probably AI. One more flower. Now remember, if you've commented during tonight's video, then your name will go into a drawing. You'll win this card. Let's see if I can sneak it in there like that. Let's see what that looks like. There we go. Very cute. So, in no time at all, we have created a very, what style would you call this? What style is that quilting and stuff? It's not shabby chic. It's, I don't know, homemade. But all our cards are homemade, right? But this is a very detailed. It's got the edging with the woven thread through that die cut, and then we fancied up our shovel handle to make a very warm hello greeting that really you can send for any occasion to a friend, and they would love getting a card like this. Like chamomile blooms. Okay. Maybe that's what that is. Yeah, I can't figure out. Anyway, this is a very nice, remember we did alter the size just a little to accommodate those squares, and it gives a very nice effect with that quilted background. Well, I am so glad to be back crafting again after being down for a bit. I appreciate you guys hanging in there with me. Remember, someone will win tonight's card. I would show you the stamps, but the only stamp I can find, my area is a mess today, right now. And I've got to spend some time getting it all squared away. But this is the Help Me Grow bundle. It's where I got this stamp and then all these dies that work together. Would you like to see the card we're going to be making in class using the same bundle? Why, yes, Manny. Yes, Manny, I would. Let me grab it. Here is the card we're going to be making in class. So some similarities. We've got those maybe chamomile blooms, same hello sign, different foliage from using different dyes with that. So I was really happy with the way this turned out. And this is going to be one of the ones that we use we're going to have for class. I still have one card to decide upon. I've got 3 done, and I've got one more to decide upon for class. So anyway, guys, thanks for being here. I do appreciate it, and I will see you next time for another great card. I'm going to clean up here real quick, and I will do the drawing for tonight's card. See you next time. Bye, everybody.